What if everything you think you are is not true? Not just your job title, your name, or your backstory, but even your doubts, your dreams, your memories, your fears. What if all of it was just part of a very old story you were handed the moment you were born? Imagine waking up one day and realizing that everything you believed about yourself and the world around you was not real in the way you thought. Not because someone lied to you with bad intentions, but because the world itself is built on ideas. Ideas passed down, repeated, and never questioned. From the moment we come into the world, we're taught how to see. We're taught what to believe, what to value, who we are supposed to be. You're given a name. You're told you are a boy or a girl. You are told this is your family, this is your culture, this is your religion, this is your history. None of these things are bad on their own, but they are not you. They are labels placed on you before you even understood what labels were. Soon after, you are told that you are a person who exists in time, that there was a you yesterday and there will be a you tomorrow. That life moves in a straight line from the past to the future, and your job is to move with it. Go to school, get good grades, find a job, make money, fall in love, build a life, succeed, grow old, and then disappear. This is the story most people live by. It's told so often, so smoothly, that we never stop to question if it's real. But what if it's not? What if the self you've been taught to believe in, the one with all the roles, the fears, the hopes, is just a mess? A character in a play? There's a part of you reading this right now that isn't thinking with words. It's just aware, a quiet observer, the one noticing your thoughts, noticing your feelings, noticing the world unfold. That awareness, still, silent, always present, is who you really are. You're not the thoughts. You're the one watching them come and go. Think about it. If you were your thoughts, you would stop existing every time your mind went quiet. But you don't. You remain. Something deeper stays, watching. That something isn't separate from the world. It is the world. It's the same presence that looks through the eyes of everyone you've ever met. You were never truly disconnected. You were never truly lost. You just forgot. So why does it feel like we're lost? Why does the world feel so real, so separate, so painful sometimes? Because the illusion was planted early. We were taught to see ourselves as separate beings. Separate from nature. Separate from each other. Separate from whatever higher force we believe in. And when you believe you're separate, you believe you're incomplete. You start searching for things outside yourself to make you whole: love, success, validation, meaning. You chase these things not because you're greedy, but because you've been told that you need something else to be okay. And society makes sure to keep that feeling alive. We're constantly being sold the next thing: more money, more beauty, more status, more likes, more followers, as if they'll finally make us feel enough. But the more we chase, the further away we feel. And it's no accident. A world that believes in separation is easier to control. People who feel incomplete are always looking for someone to complete them. People who feel lost are always looking for someone to lead them. But here's the twist. You were never broken to begin with. You were never missing anything. The emptiness you felt isn't a sign that you lack something. It's a sign that you've forgotten who you really are. Have you ever had moments that didn't make logical sense, but felt undeniably real? Maybe while standing in nature, feeling completely connected to everything around you. Or listening to music that seemed to dissolve your sense of self. Or looking into someone's eyes and suddenly seeing something beyond their personality, something infinite. These moments aren't just emotional. They are glimpses of truth, little cracks in the illusion. But then the mind quickly steps in. It was just a feeling, it says. Don't take it seriously. And just like that, the curtain is drawn again. You return to your thoughts, your labels, your story. The mind isn't your enemy. It's doing what it was trained to do. Its job is to keep the illusion going, to keep the identity you've built safe and solid. But the truth is that identity is made from borrowed parts, beliefs passed down by your family, your culture, your education. Every time you say, "I am this," or "I'm not that," you're repeating a line from a script you didn't write. And the more you repeat it, the more real it feels. That's how the illusion works. It's not just mental, it's physical. It lives in your habits, your fears, your body. It feels like reality, but it's a version of reality that was handed to you. And questioning it can feel scary. Because if you're not who you thought you were, then who are you? That fear is the glue that holds the illusion together. Not chains, not walls, just fear. The fear of losing control, of disappearing, of becoming nothing. But the irony is, what you lose isn't you. It's the illusion of you. The noisy, heavy, constantly judging identity that you've carried for so long. What remains underneath that is freedom. That's why spiritual traditions across the world, whether it's meditation, stillness, self-inquiry, or prayer, all point to one thing: silence. Not because silence gives you answers, but because it takes away the noise. When the noise fades, what's left is truth. You don't need to add anything to find it. You just need to stop believing the lie. Because the truth is simple. You are awareness. You are presence. You are not separate. You never were. So how did we get here? How did we fall so deeply into the dream that we forgot we were dreaming? Repetition. From birth, reality was presented to us in a certain way. This is your name. This is your country. This is your language. This is how the world works. Over and over, we were told what to believe, what to fear, what to desire. We didn't question it because we didn't know there was another way. And society rewards those who stay inside the illusion. It gives applause, money, status to those who play the game well. And it often punishes those who don't. If you start questioning the script, people might call you crazy, unrealistic, naive. Not because you are wrong, but because you are stepping outside the lines. But every now and then, there's a moment. A feeling of deep peace for no reason. A flash of joy while doing nothing. A sudden realization that there's nothing to fix. That moment is real. It's not an escape. It's not delusion. It's the truth breaking through. You felt it before, even if only briefly. Maybe as a child, before the world told you who to be. Maybe during a quiet night, staring at the stars. Maybe in a conversation that opened your heart instead of your mind. In those moments, you were closer to who you really are than in any belief or achievement. But then the world pulls you back. The roles return. The noise returns. And you forget again. The good news is you can remember again. Not through effort, not by adding more, but by letting go of what was never truly yours. By seeing the illusion, not to escape it, but to stop being controlled by it. Because the cage was never locked. The walls were never real. You were always free. You just didn't know it yet. But what happens when you stop believing in the illusion? What happens when you step back and realize that every identity you've ever held, the job, the titles, the roles you've played, were all just stories you've told yourself? That's the moment when fear begins to creep in, because if you are not your identity, not your thoughts, not the labels you've placed on yourself, then who are you? The mind is quick to tell you that without these things, you would be nothing. This is where most people stop. The illusion may be painful, but it's at least familiar. The unknown, on the other hand, is terrifying. The unknown is terrifying only because the mind fears its own end. It fears dissolving into nothingness. But what if you are not your mind? What if everything you've been afraid of losing was never truly you to begin with? The mind is loud, constantly buzzing with thoughts, opinions, and judgments. But the truth? It's silent. The truth can't be found in books or philosophies or teachings because those are just words. They can point toward truth, but they can never be it. You've spent your entire life trying to understand things, trying to make sense of existence, but the mind was never meant to understand something that goes beyond itself. And yet, here you are, seeking, questioning, feeling something stirring just beneath the surface. This feeling, this deeper sense of something more, is always with you. But here's the thing no one tells you: you weren't meant to find the answer through thought. Thoughts keep you locked in the illusion, dividing everything into categories, creating separations, you and them, past and future, real and unreal. Thoughts are tools, but you mistakenly believe them to be your master. True enlightenment is not about gaining something new. It's about losing everything that was never real, everything that was just a mask you wore. It's about peeling away the layers of identity until there's nothing left but pure awareness. When all of that false identity falls away, what remains is your true self, the awareness that has been watching you the entire time. It's silent, unmoving, and infinite, just as it is right now, watching these words as they appear on the page. But the mind will resist. It will tell you that this is nonsense, that you have responsibilities and a life to live. Yes, in the world of form, that's true. But the truth is that you are not just form. You are the space that holds it all, the dreamer, not the dream. The moment you stop identifying with the mind is the moment you start to see clearly. The mind is a loud, constant stream of thoughts, but if you stop identifying with it and simply observe it, like watching clouds drifting by in the sky, something shifts. A thought arises, and instead of reacting to it, you notice it. You don't judge it, you don't resist it, and you don't believe it. You simply watch. And in that watching, you begin to realize that you are not the thought. You are the awareness behind it. You are not the emotions that rise up within you. You are the presence in which they arise. You are not even the body. You are the space in which the body exists. The more you watch, the more you detach from the illusion, and the more the illusion begins to break down. Meditation exists not to control the mind, but to give you the space to see clearly, to sit long enough in stillness so the illusion fades and the truth reveals itself. And here's the paradox. Enlightenment is not something you find after years of searching. It happens the moment you stop looking. It's not about gaining some new wisdom or experience. It's about realizing that what you've been searching for was always right there, within you. But the ego will fight against it. It will flood you with doubts, distractions, and excuses. It will tell you that nothing has changed, that this whole process is pointless, and if you listen to it, you'll find yourself slipping back into the illusion. Most people fall back into the dream because they are too attached to their identity and their thoughts. They fear that without these things, they will be nothing. And they are right, they will be nothing, but that nothing is the truest, most profound reality. It is pure awareness, unshakable and infinite, the source of everything. The reason the mind resists this truth is because it knows that it will lose its power when you realize that you are not it. There is a force deep within you, one that has always been calling you toward your true purpose. The ancients called it the will, a force that cannot be controlled by anyone or anything. Once you discover it, you become untouchable. Many may believe that the will is a reckless, selfish impulse, but that's what those in control want you to believe. They want you to think that true freedom is dangerous because they are terrified of what would happen if you align with your true will. In reality, true will is not about chasing pleasure or indulging in desires. It is about aligning with the cosmic flow of life, moving with the current of existence instead of against it. Think of it like a river. The water flows effortlessly toward its destination. It doesn't question itself, it doesn't doubt its path, and it doesn't try to stop itself out of fear. It simply moves. This is how true will operates. It doesn't need to be forced. It is natural, like the flow of a river. Society, however, teaches you to ignore your true will and follow the desires it has created for you. Money, status, approval, and distractions. These things keep you from ever questioning whether you were meant for something greater. This is why so many people feel lost. They chase after things they think will bring them happiness, but when they achieve them, they still feel empty. They're not following their true will. They're following someone else's agenda. When you uncover your true will, everything changes. You stop second-guessing yourself. You stop wasting time on things that aren't aligned with you. You begin to move through life with certainty, not because you know every step ahead, but because you no longer fear the unknown. You trust that life will unfold exactly as it should. When you align with your will, obstacles crumble. Resistance fades. Life starts to flow in ways you never thought possible. The answer to finding your true will isn't in logic or planning. It's in stripping away everything that isn't yours, every belief, every expectation, every false desire. Let it all go. What remains? That deep knowing, that persistent pull forward, despite the fear, despite the doubt, that is your true will. That is your purpose. This idea of will has been spoken of by mystics throughout history. In different languages and teachings, it is known as Dharma, right action, or the way. It's the movement of the universe expressing itself through you. When you align with it, you become unstoppable. You no longer need permission, no longer need validation from the outside world. You are no longer acting as an individual separated from the world. You are acting as the universe itself. That's why true will is feared. It's not because it's dangerous, but because it's liberating. A person who knows their will cannot be manipulated or controlled. They do not look to external authorities to define their purpose. They already know who they are. But knowing your true will is just the beginning. Once you see through the illusion, once you recognize the force that has been calling you your whole life, you are faced with a choice. Will you follow it, or will you turn away? Stepping into your will means stepping beyond comfort, beyond safety, beyond everything the illusion has convinced you to hold on to. Most people, even after glimpsing the truth, turn back. They choose the safety of the illusion over the unknown. But for those who refuse to turn back, that's where the real transformation begins. That's where you stop seeking and start becoming. Enlightenment is not about accumulating knowledge or achieving something external. It's about embodying the truth you have realized. It's about living it every single day in everything you do. For most people, awakening is just a moment, a glimpse of truth that eventually fades. They carry the knowledge of something greater, but they never truly embody it. This is the greatest tragedy, seeing the door to freedom and choosing to stay in the cage. But for those who step beyond knowing and into being, life itself becomes something entirely new. Living as an awakened being does not mean withdrawing from the world or pretending that nothing matters. It means engaging with life fully, but without attachment, without illusion. It means seeing things as they truly are and acting from a place of clarity rather than fear. Awakening is not an event. It's a practice. It's a way of moving through the world, a way of existing that is different from the one you were conditioned to accept. Once you wake up, the world doesn't change. Your surroundings, the people, the routines, the distractions, they remain the same. But now you see them for what they truly are. The veil has lifted, and you can no longer be fooled. The question is, what do you do now? Will you slip back into your old patterns, or will you live the truth you've discovered, no matter how uncomfortable? For those who refuse to turn back, life becomes a journey of constant transformation. You don't just see the world differently, you become the change. The first change you'll notice when you begin to awaken is that fear loses its grip on you. The worries that once consumed your thoughts, like what others think, what the future holds, or whether you are enough, start to fade. This doesn't happen because life becomes easier, but because you stop identifying with the fearful part of yourself. Fear stops being something you cling to and instead becomes just another passing thought. It's like a cloud floating across the sky of your awareness. Once you see fear for what it truly is, it loses its power over you. As this happens, another shift takes place. You stop chasing after meaning, validation, and success. These things no longer have the control they once did because you realize that you've never been lacking. You were never missing anything. You are not here to become something better or more than you already are. Instead, you're here to realize that you have always been enough. You are not in the process of becoming something greater, but rather of recognizing that you already are who you need to be. The most profound change occurs in the way you move through life. When fear no longer drives your actions, when you're no longer seeking approval or validation from others, and when you're no longer attached to illusions, you begin to move differently. You no longer feel the need to force things into place. Instead, everything starts to flow naturally. You live in alignment with your true because there is no longer resistance within you. It's as though the flow of existence moves through you effortlessly. You begin to find yourself exactly where you need to be, doing exactly what you're meant to do. People around you will notice this change. Some will be drawn to you, sensing something unshakable in your presence. Others, however, might resist or feel unsettled by something they can't quite put their finger on. This happens because when you stop following the rules of illusion, you disrupt the entire game. The world around you expects conformity and predictability, but you no longer fit into these expectations. You have become something else, something beyond the ordinary. Living in this truth comes with a challenge. Once you see through the illusion of life, you cannot unsee it. As you move through the world, you will encounter people who are still trapped in false beliefs. They'll cling to identities that aren't real and suffer over things that don't exist. You might feel a deep urge to wake them up, to shake them, and share what you've discovered. You may want to pull them out of the dream they are living in. But awakening isn't something that can be forced upon anyone. Just as no one could make you see the truth before you were ready, you cannot make others see it either. You can only be an example of what you've learned. You can only embody the truth, live it fully, and allow those who are ready to find their own way. In this process, you come to understand that the world is not something that happens to you. Instead, it happens through you. You are not separate from life. You are life itself. This realization comes with an incredible truth. The struggles you thought were real, the search for meaning you were on, and the fears you held were never yours to begin with. They were just illusions. Most people will never reach this place of understanding. They will remain stuck in their false beliefs, thinking they are just a body, just a name, just a person moving through time. They'll continue to cling to what is familiar, because waking up requires losing everything they thought they were. The idea of letting go of their old identity, their fears, and their attachments can feel terrifying. But you are different. You've reached this point of realization. You're listening, and you're remembering the truth that has always been there, waiting for you to awaken to it. Now, there's only one thing left to do: live it. Knowing the truth means nothing if you don't embody it. Seeing through the illusion is pointless if you continue to play by its rules. Awakening is not just about understanding the truth. It's about acting on it. The real question is, will you take the final step and live it fully? Will you stop thinking about it and start living it? This is where the real change happens, not in theory, not in understanding, but in action. Whether you take that step or not, one thing is certain: you can never go back. Once you see the truth, you can never unsee it. the path ahead of you is forever changed. You might try to go back to the comfort of old habits, distract yourself, or convince yourself that the realization was just a fleeting thought. But deep down, you know that something has shifted. You can't ignore it. Now you have a choice. You can resist this new awareness, try to fight against it, and hold on to the old self, the old beliefs, the old fears. But all that will bring is suffering because the truth doesn't bend to illusion. The only way forward is to step into the truth of who you are and embody it fully. You must accept that you are not separate from life. You are part of the whole and always have been. You are life itself. Here's where most people get stuck. They treat awakening as a concept, something to be understood or intellectualized. They discuss it, debate it, and think about it, but never actually live it. They stay on the edge of the truth, afraid to step into the unknown. But this is not real awakening. This is just another trap of the mind. True enlightenment is not about knowledge. It's not something you learn, achieve, or chase. It's what remains when everything falls away. It's who you are when you stop believing the lies you were told about yourself. True enlightenment can only be realized through action, presence, and direct experience. It's not something you can grasp as an idea in your mind. It must be lived. So now, ask yourself, how will you move through the world with this new understanding? Will you allow fear to pull you back into the illusion, or will you step forward with certainty and clarity, knowing that you are something beyond name, beyond thought, and beyond time? The world needs more awakened beings. It doesn't need people who simply talk about truth. It needs people who embody it. People who walk through life unattached to illusions, unafraid of judgment, untouched by the conditioning that keeps so many trapped. People who are free, not just in their minds, but in their actions. This is where your real journey begins. It's not about thinking more, analyzing more, or seeking more. It's about being. It's about standing in your truth, not as an idea, but as a reality. It's about moving through the world, not as someone trying to become something, but as someone who has already arrived. Most people will never reach this point. They will continue searching, chasing, and clinging to the illusion because it feels safe. But you are different. You stand at the edge, looking into the infinite. You have a choice that most people never even realize they have. The world will try to pull you back. The distractions will come. The conditioning will whisper to you. But now you know too much. You can't unsee the truth that has been revealed to you. But remember, only those who take the step will truly awaken. The choice is yours. If this message resonated with you, let us know by commenting, "I understood it,"